You know that feeling when you have a million things to do, but somehow you become a couch potato. Your to-do list is screaming at you. At this point, you're not just sitting on it. You are the furniture. You tell yourself, maybe I'll start in 5 minutes. Then 5 minutes turns into an hour. Then 3 hours. And somehow, instead of doing what you're supposed to do, you find yourself deep in the weirdest activities. You're scrolling through Instagram, suddenly remembering all your childhood friends, checking where they are now, or watching a YouTube video titled, How to Survive a Bear Attack, even though the only wildlife you will ever encounter in Lagos is an overly aggressive Okada rider. And by the time you realize what you've done, you are hit with the deep guilt. Oh, I've wasted my entire life. The problem isn't that you're lazy. The problem is that you don't have the right systems in place. But that's where I come in today. There are 3 things that make all the difference when it comes to getting things done. They are what I call the 3 P's: planning, positioning, and partnering. And today I will be showing you how to apply all 3. Hi, my name is Uche and welcome back to my channel where we talk about productivity in a way that actually makes sense and not the robotic wake up at 4 a.m. and take a cold shower advice. And before you think, what does this one even know about productivity? I get it. In uni, I graduated with over a 4.0 CGPA while being very active in church, tutoring sometimes, jogging weekly, maintaining an active social life, even dabbling into politics at some point. And on top of all this, I was actively vlogging. So yeah, I know a thing or two about getting things done. Now, back to why you're here. One of the biggest reasons we procrastinate is because we feel overwhelmed. We look at a task and it's so big that our brain just says, yeah, no, let's just watch one more episode. I struggled with this a lot, especially when I was writing my thesis. People had started already and I was just there staring into my laptop like it was going to write itself. It got so bad that I started avoiding my supervisor because what was I going to tell her? The spirit hasn't let me yet. Yeah, no. So I told myself, when next you open your laptop, Uche, just write the first sentence. No pressure, no overthinking, just one sentence. Somehow, that one sentence turned into a paragraph, then a page, and before I knew it, I was done. James Clear in Atomic Habits talked about the 2 minutes rule, where instead of trying to do everything at once, you start with the easiest version of the task. If you want to write one sentence. If you want to work out, do one jumping jack.
The 2-minute rule can be applied to pretty much any habit you're trying to build. And it's very simple. It just says, take whatever habit you're trying to create and you scale it down to something that takes 2 minutes or less to do. Right? So read 30 books a year becomes read 1 page, or do yoga 4 days a week becomes take out my yoga mat, or in my case, write a newsletter every week becomes write 1 sentence.
The hardest part is starting. Once you do, it's easier to keep going. If you've ever put off a task for hours or even days, comment guilty below. But even if you plan perfectly, there's another major reason why you procrastinate. Let's talk about it next. Step 2, positioning yourself for success. Sometimes the best way to be productive is to outsmart your brain. You know how you set your alarm for 6 a.m., but somehow your hand hits snooze before your brain even wakes up? That was me. Every night, I'd be so sure that I would wake up early to jog. But by the time my alarm rang, my body would be like, "Aw, so cute." But no. So what did I do? I started charging my phone across the room. That way, when my alarm rang, I had to get up and walk to turn it off. And let me tell you, by the time I was up and standing, the chances of me going back to bed reduced slightly. Because let me be honest, sometimes I will still convince myself, let me sleep for 1 minute, and boom, 3 hours gone. But most times it worked. The small effort of me getting up was enough to break the cycle. Charles Duhigg in The Power of Habit explains that our environment plays a major role in our ability to be productive. If you keep your distractions close, you would always find an excuse. But if you set up your space to encourage productivity, it becomes easier to follow through. Step 3, partner up for productivity. When I started taking my fitness seriously as a student, I told myself I was going to jog every Saturday morning. But let me be real, if it was just me, I'll probably be in bed dreaming about staying fit instead of actually being fit. But I found the group that helped me stay consistent. And let me be honest, knowing people are expecting you makes it easier to be disciplined. Because even on days when I wanted to just stay in bed and sleep, the thought of them waiting made it harder to back out. And let's be honest, the only thing worse than exercising when you don't feel like it is having to explain why you didn't show up. Like, what was I supposed to say? I woke up and my body said no. Once I built the habit of waking up by 6 a.m., I didn't even need the group anymore. I could just go on my solo jog. But in the beginning, I needed that extra push. This also applies beyond fitness. In uni, my roommates were the type of people who read every single day. And I admired it. But I used to think that studying for hours was impossible. But being with them slowly rubbed off on me. At first, I'll come back from class and meet my roommate at home studying. And my other roommate is probably studying in the library. At that point, there was no one to gist with. So my only two options were to actually study or sit there and count the ceiling lines like it was part of the syllabus. Over time, I found myself studying for almost 10 hours. With breaks, of course. I'm not a robot. But it didn't happen overnight. But because I was in an environment that encouraged focus, I naturally adjusted. That's the power of surrounding yourself with people who reinforce positive traits. And if we are being honest, most bad habits do not happen in isolation either. A lot of times, we pick them because of the people we spend time with. So in the same way, if you surround yourself with people who are productive and disciplined, it will rub off on you. Jim Rohn once said, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend your most time with." So I had two choices. Surround myself with people who made me better, or with people who made tomorrow I'll start my daily mantra. Luckily, I ended up with the first. And even if you don't have productive people around, join an online community or track your progress publicly. Let's do a quick recap. Number 1, planning. Break tasks into small steps so you don't freeze. Number 2, positioning. Set up your space so productivity is the easy choice. Number 3, partnering. Get people who will make slacking off impossible. At the end of the day, you're not lazy. You just need the right systems in place. Once you start making these small changes, you'll be surprised the amount of work you can actually get done. So, if this video called you out, don't worry. You're in good company. Let me know in the comment section below which of these steps you're going to try first. Or drop something completely random in the comments, like what you ate. Let's keep the future viewers confused. And if you somehow made it this far without liking or subscribing, wow. Your self-control is impressive. But let's not push it, okay? Go ahead and click those buttons right now, and I will see you guys in my next one. Until then, bye. Mwah.